do you know when women could open up a bank account on their own without their husband?
I don't know the date. No.
So it's like 1960s, early 1960s.
Hmm.
That's not that long ago. So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
like
Isn't
less than
that?
100
Yeah. There was like different women self. I forgot what they call it, but women
women's
movements.
rights.
Yeah, women's rights
Yeah.
movements, women's suffrage movements, are like those. There was like two big ones or something like that. There was one in way before, and then again in the 50s, 60s, the change. So,
And you're
like,
like, dude, that wasn't long
wait,
ago.
oh yeah, yeah, right, oh yeah,
So you're like 50% of the population was a slave? And then even before that, like black people were slaves? Like, what are you saying, bro?
yeah, yeah.
But like, think about how fast. All right, think about the evolutionary time scale, right? Like, it took us like millions of years to evolve to this. Like, let's say 100,000 years, if that. Like, you know what I mean? But like, the way our mind has evolved within the last 100 years has been so exponential. Like, it's a totally different world.
Yeah, we'll
Like, you
even
know what I
look.
mean? Like,
True, true. We'll even look at today's time that we're not seeing right now in the future. What was wrong,
true, fair. That's true. That'll
right?
be so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can't believe I was doing that. But like, we just we don't see it as it's happening. And then the ones that are seeing where it's going are kind of like weirdos. Oh,
Hmm.
that's so against the grain. Oh, that's different.
Sure.
Why are you thinking like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's just like forefront thinking, bro. You're just
Hmm.
like, you just look at it and you're like, oh, we're heading in this direction. And then people are like, oh, let's stop it. Because like, I remember when the DI thing was like popping off and like, it was so anti, like it wasn't accepted. And then all of a sudden it became accepted.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Sure.
people are like, okay, yeah, like it's too soft, our society now.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, right, but it was a like it was more ignorant before. Like all we're just saying is just be nice. But you can take it too far, obviously, like the foxkin type stuff and like you know what I mean? Like there's like a line where you're like going into psychoses. You're not going to be a fox, bro. That's just weird. Like, I don't. Maybe you are. Maybe in the future we'll have CRISPR technology and you can like splice your DNA with a fox, and we're like, okay, cool, fox skin. You were ahead of your time. But like, we don't have that technology yet, so it's like it seems weird to be like, I'm also a fox.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's some things there I'm like, that's a little weird. But
Sure.
like, I can, you know, it's like there's like a balancing point. Don't be too soft, but also like don't be a dick. You know? And it's like, how do you make that distinction? This is what I'm thinking about. It's like, you know, like how
Uh,
do you?
it's that's this is part of the whole growing pains. I think that's the change is always it's an ebb and flow. Like maybe we did too much, so we just course corrected a little bit. But then maybe, as you said, the future, as we were saying, right, what we're looking at today is like normal, but it's not normal. Like it's actually a bad way of thinking. We're going to see that in the future. So maybe they're ahead of their time with the other view. Yeah.
True. Have you seen the very simple example? You know, like breast implants, like silicone breast implants.
Hmm.
Do you know the issue right now with it? Like a lot of like celebrities have to
Yeah, I know.
take
I
them
know.
out.
There's some issue with that. That's whatever I remember from before.
It's like your
Yeah, yeah,
body's rejecting it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it's like we don't know the long term ramifications of certain things we're doing, like hormonal things. You know, like when you're
Hmm.
transitioning, it's like we just don't know.
Hmm.
So like that will be interesting in the future. It's like 30 years down the line. It's like, oh, your body fully rejected itself and like whatever, whatever, you know. And it's like, or like veganism. That's a very obvious like because like you know Tara went through veganism, I went through veganism because you're like oh morally superior, but then you're like your body actually needs like protein, like
Hmm. Hmm.
animal protein. Like scientifically, it needs like any vegan is just like just go talk to like a naturopathic doctor or like a health science person and
Sure.
not a
Yeah,
health
yeah,
science
yeah.
like a nutritionist. You're like and then they're like no I can just get the same amount of like protein from like peas that I do from like a steak. And it's like you can, but you'd have to eat so much more. And like there's also like the chemical enhancement of that pea protein is way more detrimental than just eating a steak, bro.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think like the real issue is like factory farming,
Sure.
versus like eating meat. I can understand that ethical point of view, but it's like that kind of thing. Like people now when I hear like, oh, I'm vegan, it's like you're probably unhealthy. No, like really though, like
Right.
actually knowing how this thing works and like blood work and not me,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah. Yeah.
having
Yeah.
like a
Yeah. Yeah.
doctor on
Yeah.
reference who's like, oh, I'm looking at these reference ranges, like, oh, they're not really good. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, that's because we thought it was good to go down this path, but like we were moving away from like the natural nature,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know. But that's the course correct. Now those people are getting sick and they're like, oh, maybe you should eat some meat. And then a lot of people who are like vegan, they eat meat. They're like, oh my God, I feel better. It's like, yeah, your body just needed the like B12 vitamins. There's so much creatine. There's so many things in meat that like you cannot get unless you're eating animal
Hmm.
protein.
Hmm. Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was listening to this podcast about like evolution and they're saying um, with the apes, they went down the vegetarian path, right? Because
Hmm.
like apes only eat like plants or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Silverback
Sure.
gorillas, you know what I mean? Like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right, right. And like humans, they went down the omnivore path. So we can
Hmm.
eat like meat and vegetables. But that created a different type of body. If you look at a monkey, like an ape, they have like a big stomach because they need to like digest all of that like foliage,
Hmm.
I guess, in a different way than we do. Right. But
Sure.
they evolved in that path. So like to be like, oh yeah, but silverback gorillas are jacked and they're vegan. It's like, okay, yeah, but their
There.
bio makeup is completely different than yours. You know what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean? Like they
Yeah.
actually have a different type of digestive system.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's really weird to think about all these things where it's like we need science, bro. We need like to trust the
Hmm.
scientific experts to do some research first and be like, okay, well, this is the clinical trials, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But we're not like we think because we think that morality is more important than scientific study.
Hmm. Feelings.
You know what I'm saying? Feelings. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's so funny you said that. We were discussing this like Tara and I were like, what is the thing that's like making the world weird? And it's like, oh, it's feelings. Most people gauge their decision making off of feelings than facts.
Hmm.
It's like, dude, here's all the facts. Oh no, I feel like it's this. It's like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? But that in itself is like, that's dumb, bro. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't get why we can't just look at the facts of the matter.
Right. Well, again, you're dealing with many years of evolution based off of feelings.
Oh, go on. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Because if it was always about science, then we would have had that as the upfront thing, right? As our default, let's say.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So is it like a small few are guiding the masses? Like the small scientists, the intelligible people are pushing
Yeah,
humanity
like that.
forward?
Yeah, it's always been.
So we really are a herd. You know what I mean? Like we're like a herd species that's being pushed forward by people that realize that
I mean, if you think
you're
about it, I mean, majority of the world is religious. That's all based on feelings, right?
fair unless you look at UFOs and you're like, were those things real? But they're based off of like an ancient. It's like us going back in the caveman time. They think we're magicians.
Hmm. No, no, but
So it's like,
there's other aspects. No, no, but I understand what you're saying. That is different as you're giving evidence to certain things. But if you're just never seen those evidence, then you're running based on feelings.
true. No, no, no. 100%. When you're like, oh, I just grew up Catholic, so I'm just gonna be Catholic.
Because it's more easier to understand. You grew up in that, right?
Yes. But what switched it? What was it's obviously the internet, but like, it's like education and like, I just really think we're at a very pivotal point. Like all the UFO people, they've been saying we're like heading towards this it's like point of no return. And like also if you look at government structures and all that stuff, it's like all signs are pointing to a change. But the change is to realize that we did things the wrong freaking way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the change is. I think it's just like real, like the cat calling guy. Just like, why'd you do that, bro?
Mm-hmm.
And then you build like a more like sentient worldview, like a more compassionate worldview, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's kind of a dick, you know?
Yeah. But I agree that it's going in that direction, but there's always people on the other side fighting the other way too, right? Like a person
Yes,
like Trump being elected.
yes, and that's why I think that is the downfall of that country because that country is fully emotionally driven, and it's like, I have a really interesting story about this, but I'll move into it later. But I think that's like why they are in the situation they're in. So
Mm-hmm.
much people are like poor, like their country's kind of a mess. They look so chaotic on the world stage. You know what I mean? Like they think they're the superpower, but we're looking at them being like, dude, what are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like really think about it. Like what country's like, oh yeah, America's doing a good job. Like during the Obama years, like totally. Yeah, you seem like a really cool guy, whatever, but like it's just become like which country's really looking at Trump being like, yeah, that's a dope president.
Sure. Right. Correct.
Like during the first term, it was like it's different, Even my cousins in the Philippines, like, yeah, Trump's gonna change it, whatever. I'm like, I don't know, he seems like a reality TV star. Second term, they're like, ooh, ooh, and you're like, yeah, like
Right.
everyone's turning,
Yeah.
away from him,
Mm-hmm.
like except for Russia, the joint forces and stuff. But I'm just saying, it's like it's weird to think about that, like that's their president, that's the leader. The leader's a reality TV star.